Salam, and greetings from the United States. I'm Kim Olver. It's such an honor to be with you today, even recorded virtually across the miles. I want to thank my dear colleague, Dr. Amir Pehlonijad, for inviting me and for the extraordinary work he has done to bring choice coaching to Iran. And I want to thank each of you for being here, students, coaches, HR professionals, and leaders committed to the growth of coaching psychology in your country. My own path began in counseling. For 5 years, I worked with adults with schizophrenia. And then for 17 years, I worked with children in foster care who had suffered complex childhood trauma and had various mental health challenges. I watched many people who were suffering, often because they didn't know how to leave their victim identity behind them. They were stuck in the past, believing their lives would always be painful. Many were focused on what was outside their control, their past, other people, and circumstances they couldn't change. That same pattern showed up in my life. Like many of us, I sometimes blamed others or my situation for my unhappiness. But in 1987, I encountered William Glasser's choice theory psychology, and it slowly changed everything. I say slowly because first I learned the concepts in my head. The concepts are not difficult to understand. However, have you noticed? They aren't so easy to put into practice. This is what I call the heart integration of choice theory. Slowly, I came to understand that my happiness is not dependent on other people or circumstances. Happiness is a choice, and that choice is mine and depends on me alone. I would like to share 4 quick stories about how I learned these lessons. It began when my husband was diagnosed with leukemia in 1994. He was just 33 years old. His doctor predicted that one of his 6 siblings would be a good match for him and he would be cured with a bone marrow transplant. That did not happen. His siblings didn't match, so I tried to take control by raising a good bit of money to register bone marrow donors. We were able to add 350 people to the bone marrow registry here in the United States, but not one of them matched my husband. I had to learn to accept that he was not going to get well and to make the most of the time we had left together. After that, I had 2 teenage sons to raise without their dad. It was not easy. But as I worked to apply choice theory in parenting, it became easier. I survived, and so did they, so I take that as a major win. Then my youngest son, Kyle, wanted to join the army and go fight in Iraq. You can imagine, that is the last thing I wanted him to do. I needed to release my desire to keep him safe so he could take responsibility for his own life. I told myself that if something were to happen to Kyle, at least he was doing what he wanted to do, rather than staying safe like I wanted and being miserable. He's now 40 years old and the proud father of 4 children. The last big challenge of my life happened when I went for a beautiful ride in a hot air balloon, and in a freak accident, I broke both my legs and was supposed to be in a wheelchair for 4 months. However, I stopped asking, why me? And started thinking, why not me? I was the one that was in the hot air balloon. I purposefully focused on all the things I could still do instead of the fact that I couldn't walk. I could feed myself, I could blow my own nose, and I could hug the people who came to visit me. I managed to heal so quickly that I was able to walk after 2 months, and the doctor said it had to be my attitude. But I knew the truth. I had a secret weapon. It was called choice theory psychology. Every one of these situations provided me with opportunities to apply choice theory in meaningful ways in my own life. It went from something I had to something I do, and today I aspire to become choice theory by always using the connecting relationship habits. Of course, that would be perfect application, and I know I will never achieve perfection, but it's something I really like striving for. It helps me be a better person. I learned that our unhappiness often comes not from the events themselves, but from the stories we tell ourselves about those events. When I shifted from asking, why is this happening to me, to asking, what choices do I have right now, and what kind of person do I want to be in this situation, everything changed. This shift from blame to responsibility is a definite game changer. In fact, it's the first principle of mental freedom, my psychoeducational program I now use with coaching clients. The greatest lesson I've carried with me is this: we suffer less when we stop blaming others and take responsibility for what we can control, our own choices. One of the greatest joys of my journey has been seeing choice coaching embraced in Iran. When doctors Pehlونژاد and Sahibi introduced choice coaching in Iran, I was humbled and deeply inspired to see how it resonates with you. As you know, we are all driven by 5 basic needs: connection, freedom, significance, safety and security, and joy. These needs are not American needs or Iranian needs. They're human needs. We might express them differently, but they unite us. How we honor them is colored beautifully by our cultures. I believe that by weaving together Iranian cultural wisdom with choice coaching principles, you are making a unique and powerful contribution to coaching psychology worldwide. You're shaping the next generation of coaches and leaders, not only here, but globally. So how does this connect to coaching psychology? At its heart, choice coaching teaches us 3 powerful truths. First, all behavior is purposeful. People are always trying their best to get what they want to effectively meet their needs with the information available to them. Seeing behavior this way changes judgment into understanding. Second, we can't control others, no matter how much we want to. We can only control ourselves. This truth is both humbling and liberating. It's the most freeing and frustrating thing you'll ever learn. It means our power lies not in changing others, but in choosing our own thoughts, words, and actions. Third, choice coaching provides a framework for growth. When clients feel stuck, coaches can ask, which need is not being met? How might this need be satisfied in healthier, more effective, and responsible ways? This simple framework can unlock new insights and lasting change. Coaching psychology is still young, but it's one of the fastest growing movements in the helping professions. Iran is an important part of this story. The students, coaches, and leaders at this celebration are carrying forward both the science of coaching psychology and the wisdom of your own cultural traditions. In fact, your poets have been teaching the essence of coaching psychology for centuries. Rumi once wrote, "Yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise, so I am changing myself." And Sadi, another great Persian poet, wrote words that still echo today. Human beings are members of a whole in creation of one essence and soul. If one member is afflicted with pain, other members uneasy will remain. Both of these timeless insights reflect what coaching psychology teaches us, that change begins within and that we are deeply connected to one another. As we grow ourselves, we also lift the people around us. I invite you to imagine with me. Imagine workplaces where leaders empower rather than control. Imagine families where people support each other instead of criticizing. Imagine communities where people feel connected, valued, and free to grow. Imagine country leaders who stand for peace rather than war. This is not just a dream. It's possible when we apply choice coaching and coaching psychology in our daily lives and professional practice. So as I close, I want to remind you, my journey has taught me the power of choice. Our collaboration shows the universality of human needs. And coaching psychology offers a practical, evidence-based tool to empower others. You cannot always control what happens to you, but you can always control how you respond. And that choice, that responsibility, is the foundation of choice coaching. Motisha Keram. I wish you all a joyful and inspiring coaching psychology day.